Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Who Shook Hook? Now, we got this game with my first child who was 12. I think I've rebought this game 3 times just because the pieces got lost, etc. Nothing to do with the game, but just how my family has rolled. And each of the kids have really enjoyed this game, even though my youngest kid doesn't really watch Jake and Neverland Pirates, which is a Disney show that this game is based off of. But the components, the game itself, has been a huge hit for all 3 kids over a 12-year period. And like I said, this is a game I rebought because some of the pieces got lost because the kids lose things, and it's been a hit for each one. And that really talks about the staying power of this game. It's not just a game we had around, people liked. My kids would find this on the shelf. They'd never heard of it and start playing with it. And I'm like, oh, misses a piece. Let's buy another version and get the pieces for it. And that's an indication of how good of a game this is. Now, I had to rig it up a little bit to make sure that Hook stays on his thing, on his little hammock, and everything works well. We found out using hair ties that you could find at CVS work a little bit better than rubber bands. It doesn't move quite as much, and you want a little bit less move than the game has. But that's worked out really well for us. Otherwise, it's a spin and move. You move around the board. Then it has a dexterity of taking things off, but you don't want to wake daddy. You don't want to shook Hook. You don't want him to fall off his hammock. I think it works really, really well. My kids like the tension of that. I don't want that. I don't want it to fall over. So, that kind of aspect of it, and it works great in this game. It's not a road beater. If you like Jake and Neverland Pirates, I think this goes up for you. If you're a Peter Pan fan and you like Hook, I think it goes up. The game is fun. You're collecting the items, and you're trying not to make Hook fall over. It's basically what it is. So some luck, some dexterity, roll and move, and you have the IP from Jake and Neverland Pirates. For us, this has been a keeper. This is a game that has a special place in my heart. All of my kids have enjoyed this game. They've grown up with this game, and it's been a family favorite. Here's Who Shook Hook, the game. It comes in kind of a box. It's a nice box, but the way it opens up is kind of bizarre. So when you're going to get a bunch of... Now, we keep it in this little plastic bag. You're going to get a bunch of plastic in here. These are all really nice pieces. You're going to have Hook in here. I got these extra, they come with rubber bands, but I got these extra hair net things that somebody would put in a ponytail. I think it works a lot better. You're going to have a board that you will slap together and put this through. It's very colorful and very nice. You're going to have the little spinner thing that comes with it. And then Hook himself that will be sleeping. Aw, Hook is sleeping. The components are really good. This thing is held up well. This is actually my second copy of this game. It's held up well over the years. It's just the kids lose the pieces because there's so many of them. And they're a little small, and they look like toys, and they can easily be lost, so be aware of that. But the components are good. The box, you either love it or you hate it. So here's the rules. It's going to tell you how to set up and assemble it, and it does take a little bit. So mom or dad need to get started early, maybe 5 minutes early to get this thing set up until the kids are ready to play. That's all the rules are. It's a mass market game. Spin a spinner, you move, and you do what the spot says. It has a little bit of dexterity to it. Very simple. I didn't have any issues while playing. To set the game up, you're going to set the trees up in their spots. You can put these little things on. They're just decorative pieces. You're going to have Hook here in the center, and he's going to attach to each one of these. Everybody's going to choose a pawn, and you can start it out on any spot that you want, the same spot. It doesn't really matter where you start out at. Then you're going to have your 4. You're going to have your fishing hook, your sword, your shovel, and your tweezers here. On the turn, it's really simple. You're going to roll the number and move that many spaces. You can go any direction you want. If you roll on a object, then you would choose that object, and you can take any goodie you want out of here. Let's see if I can get this off. You just have to use that object and hope you don't shook Hook. Okay, got him out. If it falls in the water, it's gone. Otherwise, you get to keep it. If you land on a color, then you have to get that colored item out, but then you can use any item that you want. And then if you land on the spot of a certain treasure, then you would seek out that treasure to get off. Very, very simple to do. If you spin the spinner and you land on the broken bridge, then you have to give up one of your items and throw it into the pool. If you manage to get all the treasures off, the game will end. Whoever has the most treasures is the winner. If Hook falls, as he did in our example, the game will immediately end, and whoever has the most stuff is the winner of the game. The colors don't really specify anything other than the spots on the board. And that's a quick overview of how you play Who Shook Hook. who should buy this game? Now, this game, at the time, was a pretty cheap game. Pretty sure that's out of print, and kids have lost the pieces, and it's kind of hard to find, and the price has gone up a little bit, so it's no longer a budget title. If you're a fan of Jake and the Neverland Pirates, this is the game to get. As far as I know, the only board game based on that television show. It does have a neat dexterity to it about not wanting to wake up Hook as he naps, but you're wanting to take his treasure from him. I think that rolls pretty easily with the kids. They kind of understand what's going on, especially if they're fans of the show. There's nothing to see here if you're not playing with children or younger gamers. This is going to be strictly for them, but a keeper for us, and it's been one that all of my children have played and enjoyed.